Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Hat. In today's video, we'll be learning about the water cycle and water pollution. So the learning objectives for today would be to identify every stage of the water cycle and to give evidence of the importance of water cycle and water to human life. So, first of all, what is the water cycle? The water cycle is the continuous movement of water from Earth to the sky and back to Earth. So, it's the movement of water from Earth to sky, back to Earth, which is why we call it the water cycle. The heat from the sun is the main driving force for the water cycle, and you'll see why. So, water evaporates from the ground and water bodies such as oceans and lakes to form the water vapor. So again, you need the heat from the sun for this to happen, right? The water vapor cools and condenses to form water droplets, which gather to form clouds. When the clouds get too heavy, they fall as rain. When the surroundings are very cold, water can also fall back to earth as snow or hailstones. The water is collected in the water bodies and the ground, and the water cycle continues. So again, water evaporates from the ground and then it goes up and then condenses to form water droplets, which form clouds. And then the whole cycle sort of continues. Okay? So why is the water cycle so important though? The water cycle ensures a continuous supply of fresh water to living things on earth. Because during evaporation, water is separated from salt and dirt in the water bodies and the ground. Literally, you have pure water that is being evaporated that floats up to the sky. Okay? Some impurities in the air, such as chemicals and dust particles, are also removed by rainwater when it rains. Hence, this cleans the air. All living things require water to stay alive. We use water at home for cooking and cleaning. Water is also used for agriculture and as a source of energy. Importance of water in human life processes. So, about 70% of our human body is actually made out of water, so you can understand how important water is in our life. Water is needed to digest the food, so it's important for the digestive system. There's water in the saliva that helps to soften the food. The digested food is dissolved in water and absorbed into the bloodstream. Water helps to soften the undigested food so that it can be passed out of the body easily. So, literally, just in the digestive system, water has so many functions. Water is important in the human life processes such as digestion, respiration, and the transport of substances. So, the digestive system is involved, the respiratory system is involved, and the circulatory system is involved. So, let's look at the respiratory system. Water is needed for the exchange of gases to take place in the respiratory system. How? How does that happen? So, basically, the exchange of carbon dioxide for oxygen. So, we expel carbon dioxide and we take in oxygen. It happens in the layer of water which lines the inside surface of the air sacs in our lungs. Okay? You need that layer of water to allow this gas exchange to occur. How about in the circulatory system? Water is needed to transport substances. So substances such as digested food, oxygen, and waste materials are all transported by blood, which is made up of mainly water. So water is not just important for humans and our processes, water is also important for plants. Water is needed for germination of seeds. Remember, we talk about the factors, we say air, warmth, and water or moisture, right? So it's water. A plant needs water to grow. Water is needed to transport substances, such as the good ones, so the minerals and food, in the water carrying tubes and food carrying tubes of plants. Plants need carbon dioxide and water to make food in the presence of light during photosynthesis. So water is needed for the germination part, it's needed for transportation of materials, and it's needed for photosynthesis as well. Water is important in plant life processes such as germination, transport, and photosynthesis. So, we have this whole cycle, this natural cycle called the water cycle, to ensure that we have a continuous supply of pure, clean water. But in modern day, we do have water pollution. Okay, only a small amount of water is fresh water found in lakes and rivers and is suitable for human consumption. Clean water is actually a very limited natural resource and is threatened by some human activities. So, like factories or some of the human activities that we actually carry out causes water pollution. So, what is water pollution? Water pollution is the contamination of water sources with harmful substances. Imagine you have a cup of clean, pure water, okay? And then let's say you pour like an iodine ink or something, or maybe oil in that cup of water. Can you drink it? No, that water is polluted. That water has been contaminated by harmful substances. When water becomes polluted, there are fewer clean water sources available. So, again, back to that example about the cup. Would you drink that water once you've mixed something inside? No, because the water isn't clean anymore. Okay? And water pollution also reduces food sources and kills aquatic organisms. In the long run, we may face the shortage of clean, fresh water. Other causes of water pollution include oil spills from ships and throwing rubbish into the water bodies. So, what do we have to do? We have to conserve water. Conservation of water is defined as using water wisely and not wasting water. We can conserve water by three ways: you reduce water, you reuse water, and you recycle water. So, this is where we follow the three R's approach. We reduce, reuse, and recycle when using water. So, water that was used for washing vegetables can be used for watering plants. So, we can water, when you want to wash a car, for example, you can use a pail instead of using a hose to wash the car. And again, wastewater from households can be treated and purified, and they can be sort of reused to come back as drinking water or water for other uses. Okay, so these are the three R's that we can apply here to conserve water. So now let's have a think. What is water pollution? So water pollution is when clean water is contaminated by harmful substances. And part B would be to state an effect of water pollution. So what do you think water pollution actually does to the environment? So water pollution actually reduces the amount of clean water that's available, but also it kills like aquatic organisms and it reduces the availability of food. Now, why is the water cycle important? Pause this video and have a think. So the water cycle is important because it ensures that we have clean and purified water as a resource. Again, because water is so important to humans and plants, water cycle actually ensures that we get that clean water. Part B, name two processes which occur in the water cycle. The two main processes, again driven by the sun, would be evaporation and condensation. So evaporation would be when water from the ground or water bodies evaporates to the sky and then it condenses to form clouds. Okay, so those two processes are very important in the water cycle. So state an example for each of the following: a way to reduce water, a way to reuse water, and a way to recycle water. So pause this video and have a think. So one way we can reduce water is to take shorter showers, for example. That way we can reduce the amount of water that we sort of use when we take a shower. A way to reuse water would be to use water that we use to wash vegetables and we water the plants instead. A way to recycle water would be to purify water from our households to sort of have pure, clean water again. So we can recycle water. So have a look at this. Which arrows represent evaporation and condensation? Pause this video and have a think. So evaporation is when water becomes water vapor. So that would actually be Y. This would be evaporation. And then water vapor then condenses to form clouds. So that would be Z. So evaporation, Y, condensation, Z. So that's the end of the lesson for today. Have a go at the quiz right after this so that you can consolidate what we've just learned. And I'll see you guys in the next video.